Yes, but you're 86th. Yeah, you're 86. So 1886, that's when the house was finished being constructed. Okay. So really quickly, 1886 is also when the first car model was made. Can anyone tell me what the first car model is? You said Ford.
Model T.
Model T. Are we all saying Ford? Ford. Ford. You said Axle? Axle? Ford. All right. So there's this girl, and her name is Mercedes. Her dad, his last name is Benz. You know, some girls just get all the look, right? So basically, her dad, yeah, like I said, his daughter name is Mercedes, and he made this car. It only has 3 wheels, and it came out around 1886. That was the first car model. So after that, 1896, that's when Ford came out and it had 4 wheels. So that set the tone for how we see cars today. Of course, Ford gets all the credit, but here's the irony. You know how like today, Mercedes is seen as like a high-end car and very expensive, and Ford is, well, found on the road dead. So ironically, Ford only went like 5 miles per hour historically, so you really would have been better off just taking a carriage or a horse to wherever you were going. So anyway, that's enough slander. The point is, depending on what generation of the family you wanted to meet, your mode of transportation would have looked a little bit different. If you wanted to meet James and Mary, I would believe that you would go to Port Jervis. And there, you just see the snake path that kind of comes up on the property. It's got pebbles on it and rocks. That was originally for horse-drawn carriages. So you would have went to Port and you would have horse and buggied up here to the property. Slow, but once you come up on the property, it's very beautiful, and all that travel was worth it. Now, if you wanted to meet the kids or Gifford and his wife Cornelia, you would have just drove up the alley that you see here today. If you had cash to burn, you would have took your Mercedes to go see the Pinchos. Or if you needed to save your money, I guess you would have took your Ford. Anyway, it wasn't found on the road dead. It was just slow. Okay? All right. So right here in the sidewalk, you can see an arrow etched into it to point to where this sundial is supposed to be. And I believe that the sundial is a housewarming gift to the family upon it being built. Where that sundial resides, that is where Gifford Pinchot's bedroom is. So that's where he slept historically. Like I said before, he would eventually get married, so can anyone tell me where his wife slept? Yes, so she slept in her own private suite, separated from her husband, because even though you were married, it was very taboo to share a bed with someone you were married with. I don't know, ask them. And it was also inappropriate to get dressed or undressed in front of them as well, so they were separated. Now, I'm no gossip, but I can say that on hot summer nights, they would get pillows and blankets and they would sleep together on the terrace. And I wish I had more information. That's really just it. They had sleepovers on the terrace, okay? All right, they were very busy people. Okay, so right here on this porch, that's where President John F. Kennedy stood to have his photograph taken, and you can still see the placard about when he donated the house and some more information. Really quickly, I have to warn you, as much as I want to say that we're going to time travel and we're going to kick off our Oxfords and we're just going to let loose, this is not that type of house. This was never that type of house. James and Mary were very organized people, and they like to have quiet, clean-cut fun. Gifford kind of followed suit. Even though the 1920s would come out in full swing, he didn't cuss, spit, smoke, or drink. He was actually extremely pro-prohibition, so there's no alcohol in this house, okay? In the state of Pennsylvania, there is a liquor control board, and you can actually thank Gifford for that. He said, if I can't downright outlaw alcohol, I'm going to make it as inconvenienciable as possible to purchase. And I think he got his way. So I'm warning you about what type of house you're stepping into. However, if you just need to kick off your shoes, if you just need to be yourself, I believe that you would maybe sneak across the street. Maybe you would walk down that path. Maybe you would make your way up to the house. And maybe Amos, the baby of the family, who inherited that space, maybe you talked to him. Maybe he had juice for you. Maybe you let fur fly. And then you would come back. Or I don't know, it's not like I've been over there. All right. So, with all that being said, One of you has to make history right now. Someone has to be brave enough to knock on this door right here so that we can all start time traveling. I don't know whom amongst you is going to be, but someone has to do it. I'm going to let the family know that you're coming, and when I hear that knock, we can all start our journey.
Very nice.
Yeah, no, he said just a minute.
Oh. I was probably
He's probably
expecting a costume.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, hello, come right in. I'm so sorry, you must have been out there for hours. Please, come right in. I'm so sorry, you must be exhausted after all that travel. Give your eyes some time to adjust. I know it's very humble, isn't it? Welcome to the Great Hall. This is the receiving room for guests of the family, so congratulations, you have all been received. This is now, well, we're time traveling, so now we are in the Victorian era, more so the Gilded Age, and this is the time that represents James and Mary. I'm sure that you all want to walk around and kind of gawk at everything, and I did hear that the photograph is a new invention around this time. If you must be compelled to take photos, just leave flash photography off out of respect for the family. And we're in someone's home, so please don't touch anything and don't throw any vases around. If you need to sit down and kind of take a load off, there are chairs designated in every single room for you to have that time. So feel free to look around, and then after a few minutes I will call you all back and we can gossip about how the family got their money and why they came to Milford.
Oh, it's statue. Wow.
This is all original furnishings?
Well, yes, we're time traveling, of course it's original.
I do like that.
All right, everyone, I think it's time to gather together and do a little bit of gossip. I can say that I've time traveled quite a bit, and every single group is different, but there's always questions that outweigh the rest. Someone once asked me, was this family rich? I like to say that they had a few dollars left over, yes. And then someone once asked me, would you say they traveled a lot? I would say that they got out quite a bit, but it's always important for me to answer how the family got their money and why they came to Milford, Pennsylvania specifically. So, does anybody remember the man that commissioned for this home to be built?
James.
Right, exactly, James. So, picture this. Imagine that we are no longer in Milford, Pennsylvania, and we are now in a humble village called Brutai in France. The French Revolution just eerily came to a close, and there's a cow named Bessie somewhere across the street. That's just kind of the scene that we have painted. So James's father, Cyril Pinchot, when he was 19 years old, it was the year 1814. Now, as much as I want to say that I time traveled back to hang out with Cyril and we just walked around Paris eating baguettes together, that's not the type of story that I have to tell. Napoleon was on a quest to grow France by any means necessary, and sometimes that means asking young people to come fight for him. As a pacifist, I kept my distance, and I believe that Cyril would do the same thing. However, his father, Constantine Pinchot, was the mayor of Brutai, and he also ran a little dry goods store. So this was a man that people depended on. Sometimes as mayor, you have to show the villagers that you care about who's in charge, and that you can fight for the cause as well. So Constantine, I believe that one day he was just pacing back and forth trying to put things together. He's saying, what can I do? What can I do? Napoleon's fighting and I'm just sitting here. What can I do? I got it. Cyril, he just turned 19 years old. He's basically a grown man. He knows everything he needs to know about life. Oh, this is going to be great. I just got to ask him. And I imagine that he found his son somewhere in the backyard and he's like, hey, son, I know that you just turned 19 and you want to go out and follow with your friends and all that good stuff, but I have a proposition. There's a little army in the backyard, and I don't think anyone knows about it yet, and I think they're finally opening up some more stuff. Son, how would you like to go fight for the